All right, we are streaming, we are live, and today we are in the second session of a series. I think it's 7 and 8 series on oh my god, that feedback is driving me crazy. On marketing. So let me pull up the presentation so we can start with the presentation. But I want to talk a little bit about something. Hold on. This feedback is driving me crazy. All right, I see I got one participant. I need y'all feedback because I need to know what is going down on the YouTube live. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna work from one. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can't hear me. Okay. Uh, let's see. Okay. So, what I want to talk about today is marketing, and more important, like how to build out your marketing plan, because that is going to be really key as you start to build out your marketing plan. So I think last week one of the things that we spoke on in depthly was more so like what is marketing, how it fits the process. And now I really want us to give special attention to how we build out the marketing planning process, because I think a lot of people really struggle with that. And if you are struggling with how to build out your marketing planning process, that is one of the biggest ways for people to really see if you are a marketing expert or not, or if you know anything about marketing. So today is very casual, as you see how I'm dressed, because I was running around doing some housework today. But I want to focus on the fundamentals of building out a strong marketing plan. And the first thing I want to talk about is, a little bit about me. Of course, you guys all, ladies and gents, you should know, just Google me about my experience and some of the things I've done in marketing if you have any questions on that. The second thing is we've worked with over 100 different clients to build out their marketing process to help them build like solid marketing strategies. And one of the things that we are really excited about is as we build out marketing strategies, we really try to focus more so from a strategic communications perspective. And we talked about that last week about just the importance of understanding what traditional research was and how that should be the process before you build out any marketing campaign or any marketing strategy. The process is research, strategy, planning, and then digital metrics and revision in a marketing campaign. And I think oftentimes what happens is, when you look at, and I see this all the time, it's so freaking frustrating. When you look at like what's going on in the marketing planning process and you look at how people are doing it, they're not necessarily doing it correct. But when you don't know, and sometimes the clients even know, and plus sometimes don't even know, sometimes the general public just doesn't really know how and what the marketing process is and what should happen when. And so what I often see is there's some level of education that needs to happen on a quality part, but then there's also another level of education that needs to happen from the perspective of the client and also the person who's doing the training itself. So what I always tell people is the first thing that you want to do is understand or have some assessment of who the client believes their marketing target market is. And so what I always say, there's 3 different aspects of marketing. And when you're talking from the perspective of who's the client, there's the marketplace, which is everyone. Everyone makes up the marketplace. But then there is, I'm very demonstrative, if you don't know. Then there is, when you drill down, there is demographics. Demographics are like, suppose you have a natural hair care product. Well, you assume like everybody in the marketplace is your group, right? That's you. But then you have that's not necessarily the case. That's just the marketplace. That says anybody walking, anybody getting up out of the bed this morning, even just anyone. But then when you drill down and you look, you're like, okay, who might be my target market? Well, one, it might be people with natural hair. Well, natural hair isn't just for women of color. Natural hair can be anyone who doesn't use any chemical processes in their hair. So you need to specify that and ask, like, what really is the target? What is the demographic that you are really trying to pursue? So one may say women, but that's not the case. It could really be anyone. So then you want to look at from there what you might go to and what you might look up could be, all right, I focus on a target market, but then, I mean, a demographic, but then I looked at my target market, but then who's my tribe? And your tribe are people who may be interested in natural products. They may be interested in organic products, no chemicals, products that are plant-based. Those things really make a huge difference. And as those things make a difference, they really matter when you're looking at how you want to build out a marketing campaign or a marketing strategy, because it's important for you to know in particular who your tribe is. What I often tell people is you don't really know your tribe until you do your research. And a lot of times, and oftentimes, we think we know who our marketplace is, and that's not really the case. Our marketplace is people who buy your products, people who are talking about the things that are important to you. And those things aren't necessarily the same when you think about demographics or marketplace, because that could be anyone in general, but you want to find out who are the people you hang around with, who are the people who have your same interests. Well, that's the same thing as trying to find a tribe for your particular service or for your particular product. And last week we talked about this, like the product, place, promotion, and price. Within the marketing process today, what we're really going to spend time on in this training today is the promotion part of the marketing planning process. And that's really important because the promotion is what gets people excited, what provokes their interest, how you engage with people. That is really important in the marketing process. And it's not always the same. And sometimes what happens is people look at how they can participate in the process, and they may look at promotion, but they don't understand how promotion falls through and cycles through to your end game, which is to get people to buy. Then also more important than getting people to buy is to get people to refer. That is the real sign of whether or not you've been successful, is building a word of mouth campaign where you are nailing it so good that people want to actually refer you, your product, and your promotion, and your product or your service to someone else. That is how you know you have done good work, when other people are working on your behalf, when they're cycling information to other people, either forwarding your emails. That's why it's always good when you're doing any kind of email to have some kind of forward notice at the bottom, a blog to have a forward notice at the bottom, a way to tag people within that blog, because you can expand your client base and your customer base by simply being able to really look at how you want to have other people work for you. It's more important to have several people working for you on something than to have one person working for you. So last week we talked quite a bit about marketing being product, place, promotion, and price. This time we're talking about more so the P, which is the promotion aspect of your marketing plan. The next thing we want to focus on is what is marketing. So we talked a little bit last time about marketing being the advertising function, the pay, which is paid media, the PR function, which is earned media. Then we went into the digital marketing function being a shared media function and creative being owned media. Now, for this particular workshop and session, we are not going to go into what is strategic and strategy and outcomes. That we're not going to go into that because that's a heavier, weighty conversation. And I want you to get your marketing chops up a little bit before you really spin off into doing strategy and outcomes. Clearly, that's a typo. And then I want us to talk about research, which are building out your customer personas based on your tribe, not your target market, which is something people use all the time. And it's actually more sophisticated now because what digital communications, digital and social media has enabled us to do, it has enabled us to specifically with certain listening tools, with certain digital tools, software, it has enabled us to really figure out at a narrow level, who is your tribe, right? So demographics before is really what we could do. We can assess, okay, these people are women and they're between the ages of 35 and 55. So let's target them because we may want to target them for a new plastic surgery procedure, right? But you may have a deeper dive with your tribe where you say, okay, these women are between 35 and 55, and they want something that's not as evasive as going as something that it requires the rest period or the outpatient time that it takes to fully heal. So they might want a micro procedure because they can't be out for long periods of time and they just don't feel comfortable going all the way under the knife. So they might not want a tuck, they might want a tightening, and those are procedures that you can do in and out. They might be cheaper. That's going to be a completely different type of tribe. And so one of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing when we're identifying in the research phase, how we start to determine and drill down on the tribe, the marketing research is going to give us a big overview of that. But having the data and tracking is really going to give us the information we need to identify the tribe at a granular level. And that is what tribe is. Tribe is at the granular level. Who are my people? No, and gone are the days when you look at marketing being about hitting everyone. That's how you used to do it. Now we know there's so much competition out there. It's so many products. They're not necessarily good products, but there's so many products. So to be able to build your tribe through word of mouth and really pinpointing who your target market is, that is going to be what sets you apart. And to be able to do that, it takes tools. So one of the tools that I always refer to people is Sprout Social Listening. Sprout Social Listening is thebomb.com. It allows you to put in keywords. It allows you to put in competitors. It's not cheap, but it allows you to put in keywords, hashtags, competitors, and you can literally start to track who is writing, who is commenting on a particular topical area. And as you do that, as you identify who these people are writing and talking about a particular topical area, what it also enables you to do is it also enables you to figure out who the go-to people are. So you can start developing relationships with them. And as you develop those relationships, you can start tagging them. You can ask them to be a guest blogger. You can give them a shout out. You can be a guest blogger on their site. So it allows you to cross promote, which is very big in marketing and definitely in digital. The other tool that we use is SEMrush. SEMrush is a phenomenal tool which enables you to really put in different search terms and see who's writing on those search terms. And for the first thing that we would do before you go to SEMrush is you would also go to Answer the Public. Answer, like you're answering a question, thepublic.com. That's a website that allows you to put a keyword topic in there, and then it will generate this matrix based on how many people are searching based on that particular topic. So from Answer the Public, you can get the topics that people are searching on the website, and then you piggyback that with the results from SEMrush to see who's writing on those topics. And then within the SEMrush platform, there is a tool that you can use where you can order blogs, and you write blogs on those posts. And on those topics, blogs can be $30, blogs can be $25. And from there, what you start to do is use those keywords in your blog post. And then over time, it will start to optimize on Google. And it'll definitely optimize if you start running advertising around those keywords in certain, you can do it nationally, but I think it's always good to do it like geographically in certain areas. And then you piggyback that with your Sprout Social Listing tool. So then you get who's writing about it, you get the topic, you get who's your competitor. You can take those same competitors that you're finding on your SEMrush tool. And then from there, you can move to specifically doing Google AdWords, spend like maybe $50 a month and start ranking on Google with that particular search topic word. And then those keywords, you run against a competitor analysis about the top 4 agencies that are actually posting content and ranking. Now with SEMrush, you can also assess and test and see who is writing content that enables you to, one, compete with their content. So if they're writing 700 words, you can write 900. If they're writing 1,200 words, you can do 1,500, etc. And then from there, you should start to rank. It takes a while to rank on Google AdWords, in Google. Don't just listen to what people say, I can improve your search engine optimization, because that's mass production. And social media and SEO really takes time to start to rank. But if you are consistent, you should start to see ranking within 6 months. From after that ranking, once you start to rank, the next phase is to take those competitors that you pull from SEMrush, and you'll see it, because SEMrush will generate the top people posting on that topic. Those top people posting on that topic, it will rank. So example, because I'm big on examples, especially if you're learning marketing, it's really good to have something to compare it to, because it helps you, it's more hands-on, where most people, if you're like me, that's how I learned. So let's say a topic is plant-based hair care products. I'm going back to the hair care because that's what I got. It's 8 o'clock. So plant-based hair care products. From the plant-based hair care products, you put that in Answer the Public, plant-based hair care products. And then you see all the search terms that come up. The way Answer the Public works is it pulls in all the global, everyone in the world searching on search topics on that particular topic. And it lists how people search. Plant-based hair products, organic. Plant-based hair care products, homemade. Plant-based hair care products for children. Answer the Public will rank, and it creates this matrix spider that enables you to see how people are really providing, what people are searching for with plant-based hair products. So from those plant-based hair products, from those search topics, the little spiders, and you'll see it'll be like a little spider tree. You take a few of those topics, put those topics in SEMrush. So Answer the Public, do a topical keyword search. Put that same, whatever comes up, put that in SEMrush. SEMrush will tell you what are the topics that people are mostly searching, and then it will provide the top competitors. Sometimes it may be 5, sometimes it may be 10, sometimes it may be 20 of the organizations who mostly post on that type of subject matter, that type of blog. Then what you do is you look at what they write, and then you go and you take those keywords, and then you either hire someone or you use the SEMrush. SEMrush has a platform that allows you to hire people on their platform. It takes 2 weeks, so it's quite a bit of planning involved. And you put together a list of all the topics you want to actually write content on. You write that content, and then those keywords, you might spend $25 or $50 a week, and you run ads on those keywords. but for your content and your website. And then so once they click on that Google AdWord campaign, it goes directly to you and it's your articles. And the more articles you get people reading and reviewing and commenting on, and you're consistent, Google starts to rank you. It's really simple. It's easy. It's just time consuming. And that's where people hire people like us to do that. But I'm not trying to upsell services. I'm simply letting you know the process without charging you a bunch of money on how to do it. The tools are not cheap. Answer the Public is free. You get 2 searches a day. SEMrush is about $4,000 a year. Sprout Social Listening is, because we have an agency account, because we are an agency, we can get 2 projects per month, but it's $1,000. So you might be able to negotiate something where you only get 1 topic for your business, because that's really all you need. And then once you post in Sprout Social Listening, so after you have your blogs written, after your blogs, you're running one little ad, maybe 3 or 4, not spending more than $50 a week. You're running your ads. You can do the same things. You can run those ads on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, around your content, and you can customize your search, like your paid search ads to only go to certain people who are interested in natural organic hair care products, right? That's how you start building up your client base. And then the next thing that you do is, once you put those people in the search in your Sprout Social Listening, once it propagates, that's basically once it starts collecting all the data, it will spit out, no joke, it is awesome. In 72 hours, it will spit out for you, no bull, all the people who write on plant-based organic hair care products. And it will say, these are all the people. Now you pay for this stuff. These are all the people who write on this particular topic and post on social media. It says how many followers they have. And what you can start to do is build out an influencer program, send them products, get them to review it, ask them if they have a YouTube channel, if they would be interested in reviewing your product on their YouTube channel. And that's how you start to build out a comprehensive digital campaign. The next is just the day-to-day follow-up, posting, building out your content strategy, which we're not going to go in that level of detail. But I need you to have that backdrop before I go to have you understand the traditional versus digital. Now, the traditional we talked at length about last week, which was the strategy, which was the research that we use as the precursor to building out the strategy, right? So we talked a lot about how we do research, looking at the data, how many people go onto your site, where they're coming to your site from. I recommend Hotjar, jar.com. Hotjar will let you start to collect information on where people are coming from. So you can see what country they're coming from. A lot of times you can see if they use a mobile device or if they use the desktop, and then you will start to see their navigation patterns. It's kind of creepy because you're almost like watching people work on your site, but it helps you understand like how they navigate through your site for better user experience. So that is something that I would surefire absolutely always recommend to people, because you want to see how people are coming on your site. So if people get to your website, to your homepage, and they're really struggling, I mean, really, really struggling with where to go, that is a huge sign that you have an issue with people on your site. They don't know where to go. Hotjar will say, damn, I need to take that button off because they're getting confused. Next day, take the button off. Then you start to optimize. You're like, I want them to buy. I want them to go to the cart. So if they're going, y'all remember to post. I see quite a few people have joined. Remember to post questions. And last time I had no questions. I'm doing this because I really want to help people. And I'm using this as a training for my team. So definitely take advantage and post the questions in there, okay? That's going to be really, really helpful. Okay, so Hotjar, like I said, it's kind of creepy. But what it does is it enables you to figure out how to navigate on the actual site, how to build out your site. Like when people go to your site, are they clicking on About Us page? And if you notice that, like, dang, 70% of people who go on my site are going to that dang on About Us page. That means your About Us page has to be like bam, it has to just get them and hook them. On the other hand, if you see that 20% of the people are going to a web page that's not good, then and they're jumping off. The key is you want people success in web and content and user experience is to get them to stay. So that's a combination of three things: how your site is set up and designed, simplicity and ease. That's one. Two is how your site is set up from the perspective of creative. Is it visually engaging? Because most people now with Instagram and people are just visual, you know. And I was on a site today, looking at a site, and I was like, oh my God, I spent like 20 minutes on here looking at a site, and it was just pictures. And I was like, I got stuff to do. But that's the importance of visual impact. And the last thing is really content and written word, like what people are doing. So you need to make sure your content is really engaging. And that's industry based. That varies based on if you have your tone of voice or and your point of view. You might hear a lot of times people say that about content, like what is a person's tone of voice? How are they saying stuff? Are they saying like, hey, we're glad you're here? Or are they saying we're glad you're here, we're CPAs? So you need to know like, hey, we're creative, we're excited. So you need to kind of understand like, what is the tone of voice? Every organization, every company has a very different tone of voice. At IGS, our tone of voice is smart, engaging, but like, you know, creative. We are really more so creative. And then we are moving heavily into more digital, which is data. So that our tone of voice is like more casual, but smart. And as we begin to perfect that tone of voice, you start to see that executed throughout all of our collateral pieces. Our collateral is very clean. We don't do a lot of busy stuff, but we like our design to be very clean. So the traditional way, we talked quite a bit about it last week. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the marketing funnel. And that's where we're going to spend the bulk of our time tonight for our last 30 minutes as we wrap up, is understanding from a marketing perspective, the marketing funnel. And a lot of people don't fully understand the marketing funnel, but it is the basis for how you execute and how you set up your marketing campaigns. It's critical. So when you are starting the marketing funnel is, I had a great, I'm going to share this with everyone who registered, who participated. The one thing that is good to understand is that I love dating analogies because to me, they're very simple and easy to apply to anything. And the one thing I would say, the marketing funnel has, some people have a shortened marketing funnel with 4 funnel transactions. I really love this one because I thought it was really good. It has 6. The one thing I will say for this marketing funnel is, and the only thing you need to learn is there are really 3 core areas: the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel is based on where people are in the awareness phase. That is how they find out about you, where they see you, how they come to know you. Is it an ad that they received? Is it a commercial that they saw on television? Did they do a Google search and your company came up in the search? Were you a referral from someone? Hey, you guys need to use Joe Jackson's pharmaceutical products. You know, like how did it's just the first time even seeing you. That's why they call it awareness. It's the first time people come to know you, your existence, and have some type of awareness for you. That is the first phase of a funnel. Nothing else happens. How do these people, that's why people always ask when you do post surveys for a product or service, how did you hear about us? That's so critical because what you want to do is pinpoint what is working and what is not. So if they got an email and they've never heard of you, that's the awareness phase. And the awareness phase is so critical because you may start off with 10 things in your awareness phase. You may have ads, you may have a word of mouth campaign, you may have a social media post, you may have a commercial, you may have a Google AdWord campaign where they do a Google search and find you. You may have, excuse me, what an email blast that goes out. Like there's so many different things, that a billboard, all those things are the awareness phase. And it's not uncommon for you to spend most of your money in that phase. Most of your time is spent in that phase. Advertising campaigns, that's what you want to use in that phase. That's a lot of paid work that goes out in that during the awareness phase. The other thing that's really important as well during the awareness phase is you also want to know and need to know in the awareness phase where you're spending your coin. Because if you're spending too much money on advertising and you're not getting a lot of results, you might want to shift your money and put your money somewhere else. The other thing that's good to know also in the awareness phase is the awareness phase helps you assess the type of content. So it's not uncommon for the awareness phase that you look at what you're pushing out as far as content. So that's the blogs that you're pushing out. Like, so as you're pushing out those blogs, you want to be tracking and seeing, like, dang, I had 100% interest on that blog. That's good stuff. All right. I mean, nobody has 100%, but like 90% of people who they clicked on that ad and they read that blog. Now it's great if you could do like a video intro to talk about the blog before people do. There's so much stuff you can do. It's a lot. Don't get overwhelmed. Pick one or two things. That's what I tell people. Pick two things to start with. I'm gonna do some emails and I'm gonna do some social media posts. And then when you get comfortable with those, add another thing. And then when you get comfortable with that, you don't do more than 6 like tactics, as we call them, in your awareness phase. But what you want to do is after you pinpoint, start with 6, you narrow it down to a good 2, work those 2 for 6 months and see what happens. And that's going to give you a lot of information. So you may start off with 6, you might go down to 4, then you go down to 2. You always want to have at least 2 working. Definitely 3 is good. That depends on your budget and your finances. But I say at least 2 or 3 is good for working. The next thing you want to do is once you set up the awareness tactics that you're doing, you want to look at interest. How do you know they're interested? And this is where in marketing, we're not going to go into this today because it's baby steps. That's why I tell people marketing is building. But if you get this, you straight up can get a marketing job easily. I've trained tons of people who now work with top agencies, which is why I'm doing this, because I want to develop a series of trainings for my team. And I want to develop this to sell because it's a valuable asset and it helps a lot of people transition to different types of employment. But the interest phase, every marketing goal or every goal for any organization can become a strategy and then a tactic, right? Goal, this is what I'm trying to do. Strategy, this is how I want to get there. Tactic, these are the tools I'm going to use to get to my ultimate goal. KPIs and interest very much align. So KPIs, key performance indicators, are things that you look at and you say, these things are going to let me know if I'm making my goal. If I continue to pump out blog posts and I'm doing all these blog posts and nobody's engaging and nobody's saying anything, my content sucks. So I need to change my content. If I'm doing ads and my click-through rates are low, what? Right. My ads suck. So I need to make sure that my creative is on point. I need to make sure my keywords, I need to make sure that I'm saying stuff that really resonates with people. That is hard as I don't know what to do. The hardest thing is to make it so engaging that in this short span that people have nowadays, that they are engaged and they're tied and they're connected. That is not an easy thing to do. It's hard as I don't know what. But if you can master it, if you can master how to engage people and get them to click, you will be rich. A lot of people can't do it. So that's where the tone of voice comes into place. That's where knowing your tribe comes into place. Writing in a way that engages them. You don't need to engage everybody else. You just need to engage the people who are your tribe. If they aren't your tribe, then you don't care what they think and you don't care if they click. but you only need your people, your tribe, your community to click. And once they click, you want to be the end all to be all to them. But the interest and intent phase in the marketing funnel allows you to see, this is it. The interest is them clicking from that ad to your website. That's the interest. I have her interest in a dating scenario, because y'all know that's what I do. In a dating scenario, it's like, wow, that person walked up to me and offered me a cocktail, or for those who don't drink, some sparkling cider. That is the interest phase. They went up to me and struck up a conversation. The intent is the strong conversation. The conversation is, that is an indicator that that person may have some level of interest with you. The decision is them deciding to ask you out. The customer phase in that dating scenario is the person actually, right, asking you out. And then the final phase of retention is ding, ding, ching, ching, ring, ring. That's how it works. In the marketing process, in the marketing funnel, it is no way, it's the same thing. My awareness is the first time I see you, I'm engaging with you via a social media post, via a Google ad that I saw that I connected with, because the content was great. It spoke to me. An ad on Facebook or Instagram or visual that spoke to me. The interest is, what's that about? I click through and go to your website. Interesting. Okay. If there's a webinar, the interest is, I actually signed up for your webinar. The decision is, I'm interested enough that I'm going to actually show up for the dang on webinar. And the customer base is, well, I'm not selling a program, but if I were, you actually signing up for a program. And then the retention is you sending and posting on your website how much bomb.com I am as a marketing trainer. That's it. That's all. You just have to figure out how to apply that to your customer base. You have to figure out how to apply that to your clients, your customers, or however you determine, because people use that word interchangeably. You have to figure out what is the thing that makes people click for me. And then everything about the awareness phase is just promotion, just people knowing about you, being interested enough to you, and you speaking their language. Everything in the interest and intent phase is you having amazing content on your website. That's where Hotjar comes in. Hotjar is the tool. I want y'all to download it tonight. Hotjar, they have free, you can download it for free. Hotjar is what people Hotjar is what people look at to test your navigation. So when they go to your site, is it interesting and compelling enough that I am going to stay? And the intent really is the content being so compelling that they make a decision to sign up or purchase or get a free sample or whatever it is you're offering. If you have a software to do a software test, that's the process. And then once they opt in for a subscription, for a call, for a purchase, then they're your customer. And the retention part is keeping them as your customer, either upselling other things or getting to me. What I also use in the retention phase is the referral process to get other customers. Your customers are your best promoters for new customers. That's the process. But in our last 20 minutes, remember y'all, if y'all have any questions, be sure to post them in the Q&A sections, because I want to make sure that I'm answering all the questions. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the journey. And I talked about this before, the awareness phase and the customer journey is simple. The awareness phase is the marketing funnel is for us, for the marketers, for the companies, for the people who are trying to sell something, to get people to do something. Also during that phase, there are certain things that I have learned over the years that bring value to their experience and get them to go where you want them to be and stay. And one of those things is, for me, is to figure out whatever way possible to collect data, audience data, and perfect your tribe. And one of the things that I think is great is anytime you can install a Facebook pixel on any piece of communication. That's what you want to do. And what I mean by that is if you are installing a Facebook pixel on any ad campaigns you're doing, also installing a LinkedIn has a pixel, Google Analytics, add the Google code, the tracking code on your website. These things will help you start to identify like your customer base. And the pixels will tell you the demographics and audience profile for for people who are coming to your site. And you need that because that starts to tell you a story so you're not wasting marketing dollars. So if you are spending money on Facebook pixels, that's good. You want to spend money on ads, but you want to put a Facebook pixel on there. Facebook pixels are free, but what it does is it allows you to track. So the things that a Facebook pixel will tell you is the age, demographics, and stuff like that for your site. It's going to give you information on your profile, the person going to your site. The reason why that's important is because as you're running paid search campaigns, you're not spending your time on people who are 55 to 65 when it's already told you that your marketplace is 30 to 45. That's a waste of money. So you can narrow your pool, get better marketing and advertising spend, and really reach the people that you need to reach. You're not wasting your money. So that's the one thing it does. It helps you. So that's what we would call perfecting your tribe. You're perfecting the people who come to your site. You don't want to waste your time with people who are not coming to your site, right? The second thing it does is you start to figure out what kind of content, by using the Sprout Social Listening, what kind of content, and using the tracking, the Hotjar tracking, where people are going to on your site, which enables you to really start to pinpoint like, okay, what are they doing on your site? When are they doing it? And how are they doing it? So you can see the biggest problem people have is they have too much content on their site sometimes, instead of making in the site more, in my opinion, because people have different perspectives on this. They think the more pages, the better they're ranking with Google Analytics. I think you make the pages more blog pages, have great content, increase your traffic that way to the site. So your site itself may only have 5 pages. It may have a contact page, a lead generation page, so you can say, download your free how to identify the best plant-based products on the market. And you might do, I'm giving y'all information here. You might have the ingredients listed out with a cheat sheet on what's good and what's not good. And then they go to your site, they download that, you capture their email information, and that email information goes into either MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, which is what we use. You can also do SendGrid. There are other, websites that allow you to collect the information. You collect their information and then you start them on the sales cycle. I say that because that's a lead generation page is good to have on your website. Every site needs it. That doesn't mean that I have it because I'm not trying to really sell anything. So a lead generation page. The other thing you want is about, because people are into about, links to social media, and maybe a couple other pages, the services, obviously, and maybe a page of videos. And then, like the other part of the site should be blog. And then spend your time doing blog content, because as you change out the you change out the blog content consistently, it's going to help, it's going to tell all the the search engines that your content is being updated consistently. Like, oh, wow, every week or twice a week, these people got good content coming out. They're running ad campaigns with it, and then we're seeing traffic to that site. That's going to help you start to figure out what kind of content they want, because the content that they click on is going to tell you, mostly is going to tell you the type of content they want to see. So if people are mostly clicking on content about how to get great abs, and you have a fitness site and they don't want legs and arms, and you want to make sure your content has abs in 9 days, abs in 21 days, abs, food for abs, best herb supplements to take for abs. So you want to make sure that your content is constantly being revised based on the data that you're collecting from the web page. Now, when you set up a blog page on your website, what you should also be doing is making sure, once remember you have the tracking code on your site, you have the Facebook pixel, you have the LinkedIn pixel as well. That's basic. Just Google Facebook pixel when you set up your ad account on Facebook. it's a little wonky. So find one of the tutorials on on YouTube. YouTube has everything. And then how to set up a Google ad account. It takes you about 30 minutes. The more you do it, the better practice you get. You start to perfect like the best things to do, whether boost a post or boost a blog. What I find that works and slays every single time is to do a video with every single blog. Do a video, you put a clip of that video on Facebook, you put a clip of that video on LinkedIn, you put a clip of that video, just like it could be 30 seconds. Why this is the blog you need to read. You need to read this blog to have abs that just like, oh, you need to make sure that content is just a little video snippet. And then people will go to YouTube and then they'll look at the blog, you post it on social media, and all of a sudden you be like, oh my God, it's amazing. So always try to add a video where possible. If you can't do a video, I think sometimes we overthink videos. Even just doing this series, I was overthinking. I was like, oh my God, I got my hair done. I got to get makeup done. Time flew by and I was like, I'm just going to do the video. That's what I'm going to focus on. Let me just do the video. I can always go back and redo the video, but it's more important that the content, people get the content, because now is the time for you to focus on this stuff while it might be slow for your business. You want to start putting all these pieces together, right? Okay, so that is what happens once you start collecting the data, doing the process, you start perfecting what's working and what's not. And then after, you start to look at how you want to re-engage people. Oh, what kind of time fly? I love this stuff. So after, you want to re-engage and reaffirm the relationship. So that might be, hey, we're giving to all the people who are your current customers. You may say, hey, we're doing a contest on Instagram. Send us a picture of you interacting with our products, or send us a picture of your before and after ab work. And then you start posting that stuff on social media, on Instagram. You got an ab contest. What? You are slaying. So these are some of the things that you can start to do but only do this stuff with your customers. You want to be sure not to just hit everyone, because you don't want people who got other people's abs. You want your abs, right? So do contests. The best abs wins $100. Who don't want $100 now? That's grocery money. So for us, that's the before process of getting all the data pieces set up so you can start to track. So that's your SEMrush, that's your Sprout Social. The doing process is looking at your analytics, then your pixels and your tracking tools, Google Analytics, Facebook pixels, and LinkedIn. Those things will help you assess and perfect your content. And then let me make sure I say this. Every blog should be its own standalone page. So what that means is abs for 21-day abs, 7-day abs. So if your website is abwork.com, your webpage is abwork.com/21-day. That's a blog post. So when you set it up in Google Analytics, it's set up as a separate page so you can track that page as a campaign. Now, when you set that page up in your Google Analytics, you're not setting up abwork.com. You're setting up abwork.com/21 days, and then your blog content gets posted on that page with your mini video. So when you advertise on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you're advertising that page. Now, what you want to do is for every page, you want a pop-up page. That is a pop-up page that goes in your Google ad account, campaign account, because you want to have people register and say, download the 21-day work plan. It could just be a one sheet. You don't care. It could be a one sheet. Download a 21-day work plan. It could be an Excel spreadsheet with what they do for breakfast and lunch one day. Keep it simple. You want them to sign up because you can capture the information. Then when that page pops up, after they register, the thank you page, that is the page that you put in Google Analytics that you want to track for lead generation. That's key. That took me, I got to learn the hard way about that. The tracking is not the 21-day, the abwork.com/21-day. That is not the tracking page. The tracking page is abwork.com 21 day. The thank you that comes up after the thank you page is the page that you track. Because what that says is they have what? That has shown and confirmed that they have taken an action. They've made a decision. That is what you track. And that is what you want to track, because that says that, okay, I've driven 150 people to this webpage. Anybody can go to a webpage, but I got 125 people to click. You're a rock star. You'll get a job anyway, because that's the data that you want to start tracking. You want to be it. Can you imagine that? Can you, even if you just did that for yourself, how many people nowadays with digital and marketing, it's all about data and metrics. It's all data. It's all metrics. So if you can say, I've done 10 campaigns for myself, just for myself, over the past year, I've done 10 blog campaigns. And out of all of those blog campaigns, my click-through rate is 50%. Out of 50% click-through, my 25% of those click-throughs register for my webinar. You got a marketing job. I don't care what you do. You could be a housekeeper. You could be working at Chipotle. You have a marketing job. If you can master how to be able to convert people, that's what we call conversion in marketing. Honey, you can command a salary like nobody else's, because that is important. Getting people to convert is important. And that's a skill and a gift from God to be able to do that. All right. So in my last, I only got 7 minutes left. Oh my God, I can't take it. So in my last, the stages of engagement, I think we went over this, and I think I feel like I did a good job with this, if I must say so myself. Awareness, consideration, loyalty. Hold on, let me move my little things. Purchase, loyalty, and advocacy. So before on the other page, I said retention. Well, I'm lumping retention and advocacy together. So it's like I got them as a customer, but advocacy is like why they engage and getting them to refer you to somebody else. All right. So this is another perspective of the marketing funnel and like the stages of engagement. But I think, one of the things that you have to do is within your marketing planning process, make sure that when you're building out your marketing plan, when we talk about earned, paid, shared, and owned media, this is what you want to look at. Now, what I did was I took aspects of the marketing funnel, right? And I took these aspects and I put them in an organized perspective, organized process of what you were doing at every phase of the funnel, and gave you samples of things that you could do, right? So for awareness, paid search, sponsored content, those people who you find that are writing on your target, on your topic from Sprout Social, this enables you to take that content, take those people, send them email and say, I want to sponsor some of your content. You're my audience, you're my tribe. I know it, I've done the work. I know that you know our people, and our people need to know about me. And I want them to know about me because I want to sponsor a couple of your Facebook Lives, and we do a pod, we do something together. Maybe you interview me about my business, and then you drive traffic to me. And maybe you pay for that. Depends on how generous they are, or how you ask, or how good your content is to make them want to participate with you. And then email campaigns, of course, blogs, contests, articles/blogs. Articles are different. Those are more of an earned media function. We're not going into earned media tonight. That's a process in itself. That's more public relations. We'll talk about that. And then the consideration, the purchase, the loyalty, and the advocacy phase. So the consideration, I told you about that, the landing pages with the thank you pages. That's what you're tracking. Like once they register, thank you for registering for the 21-day ab workout session. That's what you're tracking. Going to the websites. The purchase would be like, in this case, the signing up of the webinar. So the consideration, they might go to the page, but they're signing up. The purchase part is the actual commitment to sign up. And the loyalty is like I would say the purchase is when they sign up and also when they attend. And then the loyalty is like being consistent with email frequency, people tracking purchase history, tracking people who open your emails. The one thing I really loved about MailChimp, is MailChimp allows you to see who really opens the emails on an ongoing basis. So you can track at the granular level who, if you send out 1,000 emails a month, out of those 1,000 people, who opens up every emails, those are the people you want to know, because that's your tribe. And those people you can run campaigns with those people and start saying, hey, refer me to 3 other people and you'll get a Starbucks gift card, or I'll shout out you and send you a picture that you are member of the month or something like that. And then the advocacy, again, is sharing information, referrals, testimonials, like, oh my God, this is so good. So definitely go to the website, Tawan Isom CEO, on all social media, and give me a shout out. I really appreciate it. Okay. And then the last few slides, we just really talk about small business marketing, the things that you should be doing. So, the top 5 things small business marketing mistakes they do is not hiring senior talent first. Hire people who know what they're doing, y'all. Stop hiring people who don't know what they're doing. Hire people who know what they're doing, because those people are going to be able to come in and get you going. Where you think you're saving money by hiring an intern, don't do that. Hire somebody who's a professional, exceptional. They're going to be able to do it faster for a less amount of time, unless you're just doing something like posting social media. If you're just posting social media content, you could just tell them what to post just to keep your social media content active, but maybe not doing the stuff that I'm talking about, tagging, contests, sweepstakes, engaging, profile, hashtags. That's what we do for our clients. But just to keep, just to have a posting history, quotes, photos and stuff like that, definitely you can have somebody junior doing that kind of stuff. Understand that you become a brand before you build a business. So start focusing on the things that are important, like being consistent, doing good work. That's important. Staying on target with your audience and having personas. So as you start to track your Facebook pixels, as you start to track the marketing at a granular level, the people who are following you, you'll start developing I was like, what, no? You'll start developing a persona. So you'll know specifically who your tribe is. And then the other thing, number 4, is getting overwhelmed with social media, but not having a message. I let the social media stuff for me. As I said, I can't. I still do social media. I still post, but my focus is more so on the message of training, marketing, small business expertise, not necessarily seeing me in my closet, which is serious, but that's not as important, because anyone could do that. That's like every influencer trying to sell a program. I'm not trying to sell a program. I'm simply trying to impart information, package this content for my employees for training, and then maybe eventually I'll sell everything that you've already learned for free in one package. But as far as training and coaching, I can't do that, because I actually have a day job, which is my business, Isom Global. And then number 5 is knowing that marketing is not business development. That's very different. Marketing is marketing. Business development is like a sales function that includes marketing, but marketing is not business development exclusively, right? So marketing is just preparing the reputation. Business development is closing the deal when you actually have a reputation. And these are the things that I'm going to share. Everyone who I see in the session, these are the things that you do at marketing at year 1, creating your customer personas, building out your marketing plan, knowing your awareness strategy. We talked about that, testing out 6 to 8 things and then narrowing it down to 2 or 3. Understand what your lead capture page is going to be like, what's going to be your hook, abs in 21 days, or, download the checklist of all organic hair care products to avoid, what is good, what is not good. Always try to start with either a newsletter or social media, post, social media content. We talked about Salesforce. I think that for this group, it might be a little bit too mature. So you can hold off on Salesforce to year 3. Sprout Social versus Hootsuite. They're both great tools. It just depends on how much you want to spend. Sprout Social, I think, gives you a lot more robust tools, but to get started, just do Hootsuite. Just to get started with Hootsuite. Past performance is build slow and steady. Make sure that you like have use cases, as they say in software, but more so what I would say past performance, so people can see exactly what you've done and why it's relevant. And then last, external things would be a professional collateral. Go to our website, US Small Business Marketer. We've developed a whole extension of business that just helps small businesses get their branding collateral done. So all this stuff we can set up for you in our US Small Business Marketing packages, and packages they're very inexpensive. In my opinion, knowing how much goes into the work, we do the strategy for you. We build out a 3-page marketing plan, marketing outline for you, which is all you need. And it starts under 10,000. And let me tell you, that is going to set you up nicely. So I definitely think that's what you should be doing in your first year of marketing. And then the last page is marketing in year 3 is really hiring someone part-time, understanding, like having them be like a part-time marketing consultant to just do maintenance, the emails, the social media, but make sure it's all integrated. And we'll talk about that in the next session, like doing a really good comprehensive integrated marketing campaign. And that's pretty much all I have. Make sure that you follow me at Tawan Isom CEO. And I'm so glad y'all decided to join. Y'all didn't have any questions? I love it. Why y'all didn't have any questions? Okay. Well, I guess I've done my job then. Everyone have a great evening, and thank you so much. I love doing these workshops. As you can see, it's kind of like very relaxed for me, but it allows me to just kick back, relax, and really for me, just focus on what I love to do, which is, one of the things I love to do, which is training and helping people really understand what marketing is, because there are a lot of people out here hustling people, y'all, and they just, I don't know what to say. I could go many places with that, but I won't. So anyway, I'm casual tonight, y'all. My little frog is acting crazy, but I love y'all. I have a client meeting tomorrow that I have to get ready for. We're gonna slay that and get that coin, honey, and help these people get some good marketing going. So I love y'all. Have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Bye. See you next Wednesday.